All right, this is episode 6 of the Ken. Okay, let me start over. Okay. This is episode 6 of the Ken Talks podcast. I am your host, Ignorant Ken. Okay, now, first thing first, sorry for the wait. I have been, I guess you could say, busy as far as personal life is going, and I done got me a haircut. It's not exactly a haircut, but I changed up my hair. No more, I'm not gonna say that, but no more, you know, unkempt, unkept fro. I now have two-strand twist. But while I was in the process of getting my hair done, I ended up finding out that it's not exactly a patch, but like a chunk in the side of my head, like a row of hair, is just like 90% of it is gone. So I basically asked my stylist if they can work around it. And their idea was to do one side of my head, make the twist bigger than the other side of my head, which means if you see me, my hair is going to look a little lopsided. That's because one side of twist are bigger than the other. And their logic was to, I guess, cover it up in a sense, which that makes sense. It looked real noticeable if all of my hair was the same length, and you can notice just a giant patch of hair that's shorter than the rest. And now I can start wearing my do-rags now. I can start wearing my bonnets. I can start wearing my headbands. And I'm not just gonna stop there. As far as getting a new hairstyle is concerned, well, as far as changing my appearance, I'm gonna go ahead and give my beard a trim. So hopefully I don't cut it too low. That way I can't keep the beard in my mic because, spoiler alert, that's how I be talking. I have the beard clipped into my chin on my beard, and that's the way I do it. And it actually makes sense for me because the microphone itself points upwards towards my lips, which are by my mouth, so whenever I speak, it may sound clearer than, I don't know, I'm probably used to. So now, I'm gonna go ahead and hit y'all with a fun fact right quick. Fun fact, spiders memorize your routine. So if you ever catch a spider in your house, it's because you haven't followed your routine. Realistically, I don't know how true that is, but it sounds true. Animals are pretty smart. Now, first thing first, first topic is I guess I'm gonna talk about my fast food rankings. So here are 5 restaurants that I like to. Well, here's my top 5 restaurants. First thing first, Wingstop. I love Wingstop. It's, man, I get me a 10-piece, lemon pepper, barbecue. Well, yeah, lemon pepper and barbecue. I get the seasoned fries. I get the ranch in them. Then I get me a drink. And the drink is, I don't know, if I'm ordering out or something, I'll get Sprite. But if I'm there, I'm just getting whatever tastes good at the moment. And then, yeah, usually I go for the 10-piece, but when I'm feeling extra bougie or something, I get the 15-piece. That's why when I see people on here eating wings and stuff, they can't eat that many wings. Cause me, I can eat a lot of wings at once. If I had to guess, I'd say I could probably eat probably 30 wings or so. Alright, next up we got Subway. Subway is basically a sandwich shop. You can watch them make the sandwich in front of you. My Subway order consists of meatball marinara, right? You ask for the meatball marinara. Um, what do you say? 6 inch and a foot long? Foot long, right? Then cheese. We go pepper jack. Yes. Usually pepper jack, sometimes Swiss. In bread, we get Italian herbs and cheese. Always. I don't think I've ever got anything different. Now, first thing first. After all of that, let's see. Oh yeah, toasted, lightly toasted. I think they always end up putting it in there for like 10 seconds or something. Now, lightly toasted comes out. First thing first, I have to start putting the condiments on there first. But once I do, I put mayo. No. I put honey mustard and damn, I forgot what's that other one called. It's okay, well I'll just say honey mustard and mayo. It's another. I think it's. I don't know. I'll remember it later. But it's called. I don't remember. So I get honey mustard and mayo, and then once you do that, um, um, alright, so after I get the mayo, honey mustard, I have to actually look up my own order because I'm trying to put y'all on game. So afterwards, get banana peppers, pickles, lettuce, tomatoes, olives, definitely olives. Olives are a must, black olives. And that's it. And then afterwards, well, they have avocado there, but it's not really important. Oh, after you get all that, then you have salt and pepper. No, not salt and then pepper. You get the mixture. So after that, finish it up. He cuts it in half, and then that's it. And I don't get no cookies, no drinks, none of that. I'm not getting all that from Subway. It's actually cheaper in the long run to get it from a gas station or something. Now, third on the list, we got. Damn, what is third? I'll go ahead, throw Panda Express on there. Yeah, I like Panda Express. Now, whenever I go to Panda Express, I get two, no, two meats, one side. Yeah, the two meat, one side plate. And on one of the meats, I get what is that stuff called? The teriyaki, the teriyaki the teriyaki beef, chicken teriyaki. I don't know. And then after that, you get general, the general soup. No, I got the orange chicken. Yeah, the orange chicken. Or you can get the walnut shrimp, honey walnut shrimp. I think that's what it's called. Now, for the side, I mean, they got rice or noodles. I always get the noodles because noodles taste better. Now, after that, same thing with Subway. I ain't getting no sides, none of that. Not even a drink. I don't get a drink from there unless I'm eating in there. But if you want to get a side, I mean, I recommend getting the ragoons. There's only three in there, so caution is advised. All right, and number 4, we got. Wow, I don't really. I was gonna say Chipotle, but I do not care for Chipotle at all. Damn, what other place do I like eating at? Oh yeah, Taco Bell. That's four. Now me, I like going to Taco Bell. I usually get it's like a $5 box thing. It's usually $5 or $6. Or is it 10? I don't know. But it's usually like some box combo. It has a couple hard tacos, a couple soft tacos, a burrito, I think a crunch wrap, cinnamon twist, and then I end up getting a Baja Blast. Yeah, Baja Blast. And that's my order from Taco Bell. Now, number five. What could be my number five? Because I don't go many places. You know what? I guess you can say McDonald's. Yeah, I'd say McDonald's. Now, what I get from McDonald's is uh my order as a child would basically be my order as a child would be two two McDoubles and a small fry, usually with a Sprite. And that'd be my childhood order. But now that I'm much older, I usually get a quarter pounder. I make it a I make it a medium, yeah. When I'm eating in, I make it a quarter pounder medium. You know, you get the fries and the drink. And if you're eating in, you can pretty much just go and get refills. And that's it. I usually don't really get sides from me. Well, those are sides, the fries. But like any dessert and stuff, I don't really like getting dessert from McDonald's unless it's really hot outside. Because that'd be my go-to for ice cream. But you know what? I think that was it. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all about a thought I had in my mind called the Hood Olympics. Now, granted, it's not really an original idea, but I think it's something pretty fun. Now, the first event is called the Cop Relay. Yes, a person and a cop are side by side. Now, soon as the track thing shoots off, boom, the person gets like a 5 second head start, and then the cop runs after them. Now, the cop is trying to get the person and put them in handcuffs because if they do, somebody else has to start from their point and they get the head start. And that cop basically has the potential to catch like multiple people. It's not a Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but if I can put it in relay format, um, damn, I do not know. I tried to think of this in my head and I could not get it, but okay, so basically, two people they're running, right? Now, the cop is trying to get the dude. If the cop gets the dude, well, he touches him, that's a point. If they make it to, if the person in question gets it to the person in front of them, then that's a point for them. And so it basically, I've never actually seen a real relay race before, but basically, once that person gets touched, they have to swap out and then they get another 5 second head start. Because, yeah, that's how it is in real life. When, a cop trying to arrest you, If you shake them off of something and throw them to the ground, you probably get like a good 5 seconds before they get up and start running after you. So that's not really too realistic. Now, second event we called, hmm, I guess we can call it, hell, what's the word for that? I guess mobile rolling. Yeah, okay. So basically, in this event, there's a person driving a car, and you, in the passenger seat, you have to roll a blunt. No, you have to roll. Yeah, you got to roll a blunt in the passenger seat while this person is driving. Uh, let's see. The windows have to be up. No, yeah. The windows have to be up. The music has to be playing, and yeah, that's it. You're in the passenger seat and you're trying to roll a blunt. Now, doing something while somebody is driving is very difficult. So when you are in the passenger seat rolling a blunt, whoever can roll theirs the fastest wins. Yeah, and that's basically that. Now, another event is called the Hot Box Challenge. The Hot Box Challenge is, well, this is an idea I've actually thought about in detail a while ago. Now, the Hot Box Challenge consists of a tournament style bracket. Now, I guess, damn, I watch too much wrestling, but I guess you could put 4 people in a car that's being hotboxed. And each person, mm, and each person, like, gets their own blunt from, like, a case of some in the middle of the car. And they're all smoking. Now, eliminations occur when a person pretty much gives up on the hot box and they can't take it no more. Or if they or if they go too long without smoking. Basically probably like 30 seconds to a minute. Like if you haven't puffed a none in about 30 seconds to a minute, you're disqualified. Now, the last person, well, the last round will be all the other people from the brackets into one. You know, basically all the people who won their hot box will all group up in like one big hot box, and then that will be it. Now, time limit. What is the time limit? You know, I did not think of that. The time limit will be figured out. Um, I think no, not even an hour, because you know, I'll work out the time limit later. So once the last few people get together for the end all be all, that person wins. Now, I'm working on a trophy design concept. You know, the trophy will probably be like, like a standard looking trophy, but it will have like a car on top of it, and it'll like basically look like smoke coming out the windows. And that will be the trophy design. Now, another, hmm, now, oh yeah, another event will be called I guess you can call it like a meter dash or something, but it's going to be in the street. Yeah, it's going to be in the middle of the street with cars on the side. Now, you start from one end, and then you race the person all the way to the next end. And it'll be like 2 people racing side by side. And that sounds pretty simple, but the key is to do it in the middle of the street. And the next event will be something called throw up tackle. Roll up tackle is pretty much yeah, that's not really a basic thing I invented. It's a game that kids shit, I think kids used to play. I don't know if people play it now, but basically you throw the ball up into the air and then whoever gets it has to run from one end, well, to the middle of the field to one end of the field. Now, oh yeah, this is a game of teams. I'm changing it up. It's going to be two teams. The ref in the middle throws the ball up in the air. Whoever gets it on either side has to basically, because the teams are going to be faced the opposite way. So if a person on the right side catches the ball, they're going to have to run to their end on the left. And so it's basically like basically like a kickoff return, but except the ball is thrown up in the middle. Now, one person catches the ball, their team blocks for them to reach it, to reach their zone, and so on and so forth. Now, this game ends when the score reaches like probably 10 or something, or if there are too many injuries to one team. All right, now the next event is called mm, oh yeah, the fence jump. Yeah. It's like it's kind of like hurdles, but instead of hurdles, it's fences. Yeah, so you start from one end, and then I don't know how many people are in a hurdle race, but you start from one end, and then the people run, but instead of jumping over hurdles, they're jumping over fences. Yeah, like if you're running from the police or something, and then you jump over a fence. Now, I don't know how many fences there are. It's basically equates the same amount as hurdles. Now, once you do that, the first person, like first three people or some get like first, second, and third. I think that actually makes more sense than any other ideas I've mentioned so far. All right, now the next event would be the hmm, I don't know. Oh yeah, the next event is called the Trap House Cleanup. Now the Trap House Cleanup is when word gets notified to police that you're running like a trap house, where like you serve drugs at and stuff. Now, once you get word of it, now once word gets back to you, you have a certain time limit to not necessarily get rid of the stuff outside the house, but more inside the house. Basically, you have to hide the stuff. And so by the time they get there, I'm doing quotes, and they start banging on the door, well, yeah, once they start banging on the door, that means they're about to come in. So another thing is if you barricade the door properly, how long will it take them to get in? AKA buy you time. So once they barricade the door, no, of course, they're gonna arrest you because they're hypothetical police. So once they do that, then they're gonna go in there and they're gonna search. And if they can't find anything, uh, they're gonna be certain items in question that they're looking for. And if they find them, whoever manages to hide most of them or even all of them, they win. Now, two people both hide the exact same amount at the same time, um, they'll downgrade from a trap house to like an apartment or something. Yeah. So, and the police, they aren't just gonna tear the place apart. they're gonna have to like, basically look for it as if they're looking for like some in your own house. Basically saying you can hide something like at the top of the fridge, under the fridge, in between the couch. Yeah, something like that. Now, the next event is going to be, mm, I don't know. I don't know, maybe like a brick toss or something, where like you get a brick or a pound, and then you see how far you can toss it or something. I don't know, something like that. All right, next event would be, damn, what are track and field events? I'm not really a track and field type of person, so you know what? I don't know. Oh yeah, I know. The next event could be called the triple car jump. Like a triple jump, but it has cars. Because in case you're like running from like I guess you could say the police or something, and you end up on top of a car, you jump from one car. What is the triple jump? You jump from one, two, three, or it's probably one, two. Probably one, two. So you jump from one car to the next, one, two, and then you jump off of that one, and then you land on the concrete, and you see how far you jumped. Or, yeah, that makes sense. Now, the standard version of that would be one car. You know, you step onto the trunk, step onto the hood, and then you use both feet to jump off the roof and see how far you can jump. That wasn't too bad. And until then, that's the Hood Olympics. I mean, more events coming soon. You know. All right, now another topic of today would probably be my job history. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and discuss my job history. So, and these are all the jobs I've had since 20, was it 2020? Yeah, 2020. Now, back in 2020, you know, COVID and the 19 thing, uh I never really had an actual job up until 2020, because before then I was doing high school, and then I went right into college, like on some draft prospect, no, like on some D1 type of stuff. I went straight out of high school and straight into college. Now, that one thing happened, so I pretty much couldn't go back to college. So I ended up going back to my mom's house. Now, first job I ended up getting was at a place called Steinmart. Now, this Steinmart was basically closing down because they were closing down that location. So I figured I apply and I'll work this job. Now, for my first interview, I ended up wearing like a long sleeve shirt, like some shorts. Now, apparently, that wasn't really professional, but the dude, he was cool about it. He said he'll take a chance on me. Now, what was I doing? I was mainly in the back, moving around fixtures and whatnot. We have to sort them upstairs and stuff. And then, they bring the clothes in, and I'd have to hang the clothes up like tear them out the package and hang them up on the rack, sort them by size and stuff. And let's see. Oh yeah. Then occasionally we would bring the fixtures out to the front so they could put the merchandise on them. Now that place was, it was pretty cool. I had little company discounts and stuff. Employee discounts. But I ended up losing that job because I guess they let me go or something. I'm thinking that was because they was about to close down. This other dude I was working with, he was there too. And I met him at that job. And then he basically told me they was having like, shit, I don't know, pizza parties and shit. Stupid ass sons of bitches. Anyways, fuck that job. Now, next job I ended up working at was TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx it wasn't a good job. It wasn't. I didn't even like what I was doing. I didn't like the people there. I didn't like the management there. I didn't like my schedule. It was just all around bad. Now, what they had me doing was basically the same shit as Steinmark. They had me working in the back, like getting the clothes out, sorting them, and then eventually they have these pallets of inventory that we basically have to undo and then put them on like a cart or something. And then that cart gets rolled out to basically restock the shelves. And I ended up losing. I actually didn't lose that job. I put in my 2 weeks because I was under the impression that I was going to be able to go back to college. But I wasn't. So I put in my 2 weeks. And then it turns out I wasn't going back to college. So I ended up leaving. Oh, yeah. And there's a motherfucker named Patrick that was there. First of all, fuck you, Patrick. If I ever see you, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. No, literally, I'm going to open hand slap the shit out of you because you know what you did. Stupid ass, retarded ass, nerdy looking bitch. I fucking swear. Oh yeah, then that one fat Mexican bitch that was there too. I slapped the shit out that bitch too because she know what she did also. God damn. God damn. Motherfuckers will do shit because they're not used to the concept of being slapped the fuck out of because they did it. But anywho, oh yeah, then there was this one bald, he probably was gay. Oh, yeah, I'm willing to bet he probably was fucking gay. Uh, then there was some old chick, some old bitch there too. Oh well, but I knew I didn't fucking like that job a long time ago because I started applying to the next job on this list, Randall's. And how fucking coincidentally did I end up getting the job at Randall's, which was basically so the Steinmart, the TJ Maxx, and the Randall's are basically in the same shopping center. So I guess that was good for me. So while I'm at TJ Maxx, I'm applying to Randall's because I already have it made up in my mind that I can't fucking stand this place. So I apply to Randall's, and then I get the job at Randall's. Now, what they have me doing at Randall's was they called it a sanitation clerk, but really all I did was stand outside and, you know, spray the baskets down and wipe the baskets off. And then occasionally I'd have to go to the parking lot, collect all the baskets, then put them back. Now, that job was pretty decent. I didn't like when that job was like during the cold. So the only part I hated about that was spraying the stuff and then the wind would blow. The cold wind would blow on my fingers and it'd be cold. But I ended up losing that job because I ended up having my baby shower. And I guess I forgot to call in and tell them. So I basically no call, no show. And that was basically a one time thing. They basically fired me over that. Now, the white dude that was in charge, he was a bitch. And that one black bitch that was there, she know who I'm talking about. She a bitch too. I smack that bitch too. Since she needs something to be afraid of, I'll show you something to be afraid of, bitch. But anyways, um, I had to talk with that dude on my last day. Basically, bitch fired me. So fine. I stood up. I put my hand out like I was gonna shake it. Nope. Walked away. Stupid ass bitch. And then when I left, I took the entire jar of hand sanitizer that they had out there, and I took it home with me. Plus, fuck them. Now, I should go back up there to that Randall's. Yeah, just to be messy. Cause if I see that bitch again, she gonna try to talk to me. I'm gonna say, bitch, why are you talking to me? Yeah, verbatim. I'm going to tell her, bitch, why are you talking to me? And if I see that manager up there, he tries to say something to me, I'm gonna say, bitch, why are you talking to me? Because I ain't got shit to lose. Well, as in a job sense, anyways. He could be offended all he want, but at the end of the day, I don't fucking work for him. So in reality, I'm just a pissed off customer. Now, the next job I ended up going to was Skechers, which was actually one of my more laid back jobs. Yes, I can admit that. Now, Skechers was, pretty cool. My first day there, they let me get a free pair of shoes that I can work in. I missed them Skechers. They were like red and black, but they were some pretty good shoes. I got free gear that I don't have anymore. I think I got one of the shirts still. They give you free shirts, free shoes, well, for a free pair of shoes, and from then on out, get employee discounts. But I wasn't really making that much money, I don't think. So I didn't really get much of a discount. And so then I ended up leaving, well, that location at least, because it was too far from my house. So I ended up moving to a location that was closer. Now, that location was a lot smaller. You couldn't really, they wouldn't let you leave unless, basically, you couldn't leave at the time. You couldn't leave after, oh, shit. Basically, you couldn't leave the store when it closed. They'd want you to stay behind after closing and to, like, do other shit. So I didn't really like that job either. Because at the last location I was at, when it was time to close, that was it. Like, I say it was about maybe nah, hell no, because at that last location, the closing time, like, once the lights start cutting off by themselves, that's when it's time to get up out of there. Like, they couldn't even control that. So I remember working there. It got me some little free tote bags out of it. Damn, I had two of them. I don't know if I still got them. Maybe I do. But after that, I ended up going to the second location. The second location, I ended up leaving there because I was sick one day, and then I told them I had symptoms and stuff. And then they thought I had, vid symptoms. So I ended up leaving. And then I guess, never clocked in or something, or forgot to clock in. But I think I'm gonna go ahead. and leave it at that, at Skechers. Yeah, so because I can see them at 40 minutes. I don't want to go on for too long. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead. Eh, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it around here, you know, and that will do it for episode. What is this? Episode 6 of the Ken Talks podcast. At the Ken Talks podcast. Yeah, this is episode 6 of the Ken Talks podcast. I am your host, Ignorant Ken. I will catch y'all on the flip side. I'm gonna go ahead and get to 41.